Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble Grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's my opponent to go first. I have a good rack, I have the blank. There certainly will be some 8s here. I can see hairball through an A or an L. I haven't seen a 7-letter bingo, but there may be one. Okay, I have hairball through the A of CAG. Do I have a bingo beginning or ending with the A? Now, what about Bill Hartzier? That's 9 letters, so that doesn't work. Okay, I'm struggling to see a bingo beginning or ending in A, but they can be difficult to spot. So, do I go with hairball? If there was a 7, it would score by quite well, because the H may be able to go next to the C of CAG. Now, Braccial is good. Ah, well, that's an alternative bingo. That plays in row G. It's also an alternative play in row H. Let me run through the alphabet and see what comes to mind. At the moment, my preferred move is Braccial through the C. That is the Braccial play. Hireable through an E. Ah, well, and also as a 7. Well, that doesn't fit in column 9. Except it does fit down here. Okay, that's my new preferred play. Alberghi through an E. Still nothing better than hireable. It certainly would be good to find one beginning or ending in an A, because it would be a lot better than anything I've seen so far. Still nothing. Okay, so I think it's hireable down here. Not too dangerous, it doesn't take any hooks, and I'm not placing a vowel next to the double letter square. $72. Just immediately having doubts as to whether hireable can be spelt without the E. It would be annoying if it comes off, since I did have hairball and Braccial. Anyway, we shall see. In the meantime, I've drawn the S, which is good. And through a U, I would have youngish, I think. I've got the ing ending to go with HOYS, so there could be a bingo here. I'm just looking at the floaters in hireable. Not seeing anything. But the H and the Y are good scoring tiles. My H could go next to the E of hireable. But I would like to play off the Y as well as the H. Since I've got the S, I'm looking for my next bingo. And CAG takes an S in front, so row F is a good bingo lane. So how can I play the Y and the H? I don't really like playing HEY in row N. Placing the H over the triple word square. I could play bingy in row L. Only 22 points. It would be nice to score more than that. So I'm struggling to see a way of playing off the H and the Y. I'm just wondering about the word hoying as a 6-letter play. I think that's good as HOIING. Now my O can go in front of the B of hireable. So do I have a play in column 8? No, because I have nothing to go in front of the L. So this is proving to be a tricky rack. Maybe my opponent will provide something good. He's taking a while with his move. Now, I note that he's got a rating of 1830, and everyone with a rating over 1800, I believe, has to be somebody with who plays the face-to-face tournament scene and therefore has got a rating from real-life games. So let me see if there's any information about him using the finger command. Okay, not a great deal. AH takes an S after it, so column 10 is also a bingo lane for bingos ending in S. Right, 21 points for my opponent. Well, he sort of does provide something because LO takes a Y after it, so I could just play Hoy down here. But LO also takes a G. And would Goy be better than Hoy? ING and S have a certain amount of tension between them because they both compete to end the bingo, and ING is overrated as a bingo ending. So I guess I'm still looking to play off H, Y, and G. Goyish is good, but that burns the S, and I can't score enough to justify that. Now, takes an S, so do I have a 6-letter play beginning with the S? Well, I do, and it's quite a nice one, Shying. I think the score is going to justify burning the S. It certainly gets rid of all my problem tiles. 56 points, that's certainly worth doing. Well, that's pretty good, having retained just one O. This rack could have been a lot worse. I've got the scoring tile in the J. That goes well with Val. So I've got Zhao, Adji, Joe, Raj, Taj, Roji, Rioja. So a whole bunch of bingos. Hopefully one of those will score well. Now I've got Zhao and Lu in column 11. Ventin, not sure of that. Great, it comes off. Fantastic. Now my opponent's play has drawn attention to this triple letter square, so do I have a 6-letter play ending in N, beginning with J? I don't. So, what to do? What about... I was looking at Zhao and Lu, but what about Zhao here? This is much better. It places the J on the triple letter square. It scores 37 points. Can I do better than that? Well, I don't think so. I draw the Q, but I've got the A and the T to go with it. So I've got Cat, and I've also got Trank. And at the moment, Cat plays in column 11, making Jar and It. That stays available. 24 points for my opponent. Knave takes an S after it. I don't have one. I don't think it takes anything else. Now, is Cat the best I can do? It's pretty good. 35 points. The rack leave isn't great. LORN is vulnerable to drawing duplicates of any of those and then having low scoring options available. No U's on the board. The Eye of Shying doesn't work. Through an I would have Kintar. Okay. I've seen nowhere for... well, I say I've seen nowhere for Trank, but what about right here? This is going to score more than Cat, I think. Yep, 50 points. Also, the rack leave LO is a lot better than LORN. And this Q isn't really opening up column 15 because if the Q has a U after it, then you're looking at a play which ends QU something G. Not many of those around. Great. It shows you need to look at the board, because that Trank play did not leap out at me, even though I identified Trank before Knave was played. Now, Denton is good. 22 points for my opponent. I've got a 100 and something point lead, and I've drawn another of the high-scoring tiles. I've had the J, Q, and Z in successive moves. So what can I do with the Z? Well, I can play Zombie and die. That's pretty good. That's going to be another, well, close to 50-point play, and the rack leave is good. Just pausing because one should. Having seen a good move, it's easy to whack it down and hit the clock. But often there's a better move available. So what would a better move be? Well, I can't see one. This rack has got a lot of clunky tiles, and Zombie plays off enough of them to leave a good rack leave. And it's also taking out a very useful lane for my opponent. DI takes nothing in front, and Z takes nothing in front, so it's really killing off lanes 13 and 15 as bingo lanes. So there's a lot right about this play. I have Paladin. Nowhere to play that as the board stands. Through an R, I would have Prandial. Limited bingo lanes, really column 11 running parallel to Jow. So if I had a bingo ending AN, that would work. But I don't. I don't think Paladin has an anagram. Now, 22 for my opponent. He's opened up a new bingo lane, row O, for bingos ending in E. Paladine, not good, I don't think. And I can't see a bingo ending in E with this rack. So, what can I do? How do I sort it out? The P is my scoring tile. I'd like to split up the duplicate A. I'd like to split up the L and the N. So I'm looking at playing in column 11 to get some score from the J, given I haven't got many scoring tiles on my rack. Aha takes nothing after it, so I'm looking at a play which ends next to the I. So I could play Plan. Or Played. No, Played doesn't work. Well, there must be something better than this, because I don't like this vowel. This is exactly how you get into vowel troubles, keeping a slightly vowel-heavy leave, and then drawing vowels. So I've got 11 minutes on my clock, 44 tiles left. I can't spend too long on this play, but I'd like to find something better, and it just needs to be playing off one more vowel in the same column. And I can't see it. Maybe I should play off fewer tiles. Maybe play Lad. Or Pad. So, do I have an alternative place to play? Just looking at the score, Plan. Only 23 points, so it's not clearly the best place to play. For example, if I had a play in column 13 running down here, ending with the I, that would probably score more. And what about row L? I could have a play ending with an A or an I. Well, this rack is proving trickier than I thought it would be, and I don't really want to waste time on it when there's so many tiles left. So what about just playing pad? Actually, I will play pad. I was going to put down plan again, but then that places the P next to this double word square and makes it very easy for my opponent to score. This makes it slightly harder. Well, I do have this slightly vowel-heavy rack now, and I have no scoring tiles. Wow, nice bingo by my opponent. Plan would have, well, may have blocked that, but he probably would have had a bingo since he had the blank. Both blanks have now gone. I have Audalion through this R, but not in the right spot. Can't see anything through the P or the O. I've got a 100-point lead. Can't see anything ending in E. So how to sort this rack out? Well, what about a paid up here? Or what about Dallapon? That plays off more tiles, scores more, expedites the end of the game. It does take an S. There are 3 S's out there, but I've got a big lead. Ooh, pretty grim. That is a poor rack. I may have been better off playing a paid. Anyway, 8 minutes left. I do have a good lead. So I'm slightly worried about leaving that S hook there, and my opponent has scored very well from its 63 points. I'm still a bingo up, but that's all I'm up. So how to sort this rack out? Wifey comes to mind as a way of playing off a lot of the tiles. Can't see anywhere great for that. I don't think Wi-Fi is good. I don't think that came in. Otherwise it would play in row L. Well, I can play Wi-Fi here. Not too dangerous because the W doesn't take an E in front. I certainly need to split up the W and U combination. 18 points, not great, but I think I was going to struggle to score a lot more than that on this board. Wow, that's pretty good. I've got Scouted. Not sure if there's anywhere for it. And Custode. In fact, Custode does play in row C underneath Wi-Fi. So that's a bit of a turn up. And Dowsets is good. So I've got Dowsets in row F and Skag. Well, I really was not expecting to have a bingo this rack, given my previous rack. And the final anagram of that set is Dowsest. Great, my opponent has changed. So, what bingo to play and where? Dowsets gets a couple of tiles tripled. Custode is going to score the most, but it hangs the C out here, opening up this 9-timer lane. I think I will go for the points. 9-timers are pretty rare. I can't see a bingo ending in E for row O. Now, is this really the biggest overlap? So Custode, Dowsest, Dowsets, and Scouted. Ah, I thought Scouted went, but that would make W, U. Okay, I'll go with this. My opponent's changed 6, so he's likely to have a random rack rather than a bingo, but not guaranteed. Excellent. That looks close to another bingo. Through a T, I'd have Tenurial, and the T of Custode is available for that. Fantastic. So even if my opponent does bingo in column 1, I can come straight back with a bingo of my own in column 4. I can't see a bingo for row O ending in E. Now, do I have a column 1 bingo? I don't have a 7-letter bingo that I can see, although there may be one. So this rack plus a C. Well, I can't see it, if there is one. No. Okay, well, I can't see anything through the U either. What about the S? No, so all I've seen is Tenurial. Hopefully that will stay available and my opponent will take out one of the triple word squares in column 1. Row G is also a bingo. Great, only 27 points for my opponent. And Tenurial can go straight down. I had been slightly worried about the time, but those worries vanish with these back-to-back bingos. This will almost drain the bag. Tenurial 68. Not bad. Could have been worse. Balance between vowels and consonants. And I do have scoring tiles. One tile in the bag. I can see what my opponent's got. He may have a bingo. He may have teeters. That would play in column 3. He does. There it goes. 71 points. But I'm 140 ahead. He's going out next go. All he's got is an E. So, and that will go in several places. He could play ES up here and he could play EM over here. So what I need to do now is score the most I can, taking into account count back, which is the deduction of twice the value of the scores of the tiles on my rack from any candidate move. So what do I have in row O through that S? Well, just WUS is all I can see. So, not very much. Now, VROW, V-R-O-U-W, is a good 5. But I can't see anywhere for that. 4 minutes left. The game is won. I'm 140 ahead. But I'd like to do something half decent with this final rack. So I'm looking to play off 2 or 3 of the high-scoring tiles. Through an I would have Viewy. I don't think there's very much in most of this board. I think I am looking around Tenurial and Teeters. It's a shame I can't see anything through this S, because that would give me an initial score to be aiming to beat. What do I have which goes after EL? And I'm thinking about a play in column 5. Nothing. 3 minutes on my clock. What goes in front of EL? Nothing. Wells is good, but well isn't. If I had a T, I could play Vestry. WYE is good. So I could play WYE and F and Few. Pretty poor. I can play U down here. This is looking a little better. 37 points. That's a lot better. And I think I will go with this. I think I'll struggle to score a lot more than it. And the game is won. So I shall wait for my opponent to play his E somewhere. And I've blocked him playing EX inadvertently. 13 points. Pass to end the game. And the final score, 382 to my opponent, 535 to me. A winning margin of 153 points. So a massive win. Always great to score over 500 points, and this was way over 500. Let's see what I missed. Right. Well, that looks pretty good. It was my opponent to go first. Did he have a bingo? No, he didn't. What a shame for him, because that looks pretty bingo-y. He played CAG. Now, I played Hireable. Ah, of course, it plays in row J, making Cage for 81. A much better position than H9 down here. It just shows what secrets the board hides, even when there's hardly any tiles on it. Albergi was playable through the G. Okay, well, you can see the moves there. I think I did spot Braccial and Hairball and Hireable, just not the best spot for Hireable. This is my opponent's rack. He surely has a bingo. Timoneer. Not easy to see. He played Om, and that gave me 56 for Shying, which looks best, and Hoying was good. That would have been a nice play if Shying hadn't been available. My opponent's rack, he plays... Well, he played Venton and that came off, so it was back to me. I played Jiao at F10, that looks best. My opponent's rack, he plays Knave, and that gave me Trank for 50. So this was a great run with the scoring tiles, which carried on. My opponent's rack, he played Dentin, and then I saw Zombie straight away, paused in case there was a better play, couldn't find one, and looking at these candidate moves, there wasn't one. My opponent's rack, that looks, well, with a blank it's always bingo-y, but there was no bingo there. He played FE. Phew, I was waiting to see Paladine come up. It wasn't good. And this is a rack I struggled with. Panda and Jar, I think, would have been the play. And I think I played Pad in the end. Yeah. Well, probably not very much between those two plays. Now, what did my opponent have? He played Protégé, which was great, and in fact, Protégé and Protégé were the only bingos available. Ah, so Protégé was available in row O. Now, this was my rack. Great, I didn't miss a bingo. I played Dallapon and then had Buyer's Remorse because of the S hook, which was then punished. Now, I think Donna for 34... Well, yeah, but that looks better. Better score, probably a better rack lead, but it leaves this P available. So maybe, and the trouble with a paid, which I considered, is that the rack lead isn't great, and I'm sacrificing, well, 6 points over Dallapon and 10 over Donna. So probably not a great deal between these plays. My opponent's rack, he played Sax for 63, which was close to as bad as it could have gotten for me in terms of leaving that hook out there. And this is where I had a grim rack. I was a bingo ahead, but this was a grim rack and there were bingo-y tiles in the bag, so I was at risk of being caught. Now, I played Wifey really just to sort the rack out, and even then it didn't feel that it had sorted out totally because it retained the U. But I think this rack leave of DU is a lot better than all these other rack leaves on offer, so I still like my play. My opponent had a dreadful rack. I didn't know that at the time. He changed, and I drew wonderfully. Having kept DU, I picked up CEOST, which was excellent. A whole bunch of bingos and custode. Well, sorry, a whole bunch of bingos. 2 bingos, custode and Dowsets, and custode was the better. Now, wow, this was a pretty good rack for my opponent, and there was a C here. Did he have a bingo? No, he didn't. Okay, well, he's got outline on his rack, nowhere to play it. So he played Uncoiled for 27, and I had Tenurial, which was the only bingo, so pleased to have spotted that. My opponent's rank, he's got Tetters. Did he play it? No. So, what did he do? Yeah, sorry, he did play Tetters. I think I looked at the remaining tiles and saw that he could have had Teeters and thought that he'd played Teeters. In fact, he'd played Tetters and the E was in the bag. Now, this was my final move. The game was won, and I was struggling to find a play. Vrow was playable. Through the R of Tetters. Should have spotted that for 38. Instead, I played U for 37, which was slightly worse. And that was the end of the game. So a great game because it was such a massive score, and it was good to get those bingos down, and it was also good to recover so quickly from the Wifey rack, which was utterly grim. Wifey DU just looks horrible, and you feel you're going to spend 3 or 4 racks just wading through treacle trying to sort it out, and firefighting as your opponent catches you up with 30 and 40 point plays using 2 letters a time. Fortunately, this game didn't pan out that way at all. I had a massively good pickup after Wifey and got back-to-back bingos with Custode and Tenurial, so ended the game on a huge high, which is always good. So I hope you enjoyed watching that game and got something out of it. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.